It's a very detailed interview. CNN News 18 has actually asked about 24 questions. Also, a lot of it hinging upon Pakistan, Afghanistan equations, Pakistan, Iran equations, India, Afghanistan equations, and the role that the Taliban would want to play. I'm just going to go back to what he has said. What Sirajuddin Haqqani says, does this have greater meaning? Because it's very strong words coming from a Sirajuddin Haqqani. One would expect it from some of the other leaders, but for the Sargana of the Haqqani network, the Interior Minister of Afghanistan, to come out, and I quote, this is exactly what he said. He said, as we have promised to the world, also the Islamic world is in arms against the Daesh. That is, because we asked him about Daesh, Khorasan or the ISIS. To control and throw it out, many steps have been taken. With regard to the Al-Qaeda, it has no presence in Afghanistan and is no more a threat. And the world is required not to feel threatened about the already dead outfit. Now, is this a mirage, or should we look at it as nothing but false pretense, or trying to put on a shroud over the reality and to try and give them cover fire and camouflage? Or should we say that this is slowly the Taliban trying to say that if you can get rid of them, get rid of them. Give us the entire cover of plausible deniability and go ahead and do what you want to do.
Well, Anand, firstly, let me compliment you for that interview, and I feel so proud that you have a 360-degree presence because it is not a very easy task to get such a very candid and a very detailed interview. Now, what Sirajuddin Haqqani had said, I mean, it is a smoke screen. You see, there is a lot behind the screen because Taliban itself. I mean, the very fact that they are denying, if you recall the Doha Accord, they have been violating it. Now, the very fact that they are saying that Pakistan had no role in getting Taliban there or yes, if you see, the ISI chief was there. He was, monitoring the operations. Otherwise, the Panjshir operations would have been a success. So what Sirajuddin Haqqani is saying, it is a diplomatic kind of, a statement which he has given. But the reality is something else. These organizations, these tanzeems, they have found a safe haven as far as Afghanistan is concerned. Now, if you see the importance, the geostrategic importance of Afghanistan, whosoever controls Afghanistan controls Central Asia. And the new strategic equations which are emerging. Now, if you see, the world has got, two polarities. Like one is the American-centric world order, and the other is the Chinese-centric world order.
Correct. In
which, if you see, the Iran is also, echeloned towards China. Russia is also with them. So this kind of, and China has its own apprehensions. So the Sirajuddin Haqqani's statement that there is no Al-Qaeda remnants or there is no Al-Qaeda present has been proved grossly wrong. So what Afghanistan is basically looking for is they are looking for finance, they are looking for food grain, because if you see the internal situation in Afghanistan, it is in a sad state of neglect. It is pathetic. Because people are, selling their kids, people are selling themselves to just to survive. Yes. So all these kind of things, what they require is the roti, kapda and makan. जो तीन बुनियादी चीजें हैं वो चाहिए उनको. But unfortunately, not very many countries are forthcoming. So what they are basically looking is that they will be harboring such kind of tanzeem, such kind of organizations, which are going to, get them some kind of money, some kind of help. And you see, the very fact that, Al-Qaeda, it is still a very, very potent, organization or a tanzeem which is capable of striking deep and making an impact in the world. So the very fact that al-Zawahiri was there, I mean, and I'm sure there are no free lunches. He must have been there with a cost, with some kind of benefit to the, to the Taliban government.
Correct.
So all these factors,
see, all these factors come into play, but the contrary to what the U.S. narrative is, here he was there in the heart of Kabul, not so far away from the defense area. So it is impossible that a lot of people did not know about his presence at all. The other aspect is, did they just offer him up and say, okay, here to do what you can? The third part is that Joe Biden is under a lot of pressure because he's already copying a lot of flack for the exit from Afghanistan. The way the Russia-Ukraine conflict, America has not been able to do much. You have China saber rattling with Taiwan. And of course, he's battling recession internally. So does this come out as a savior kind of a narrative where he claims a victory here, knowing fully well that we could take him out whenever at our own convenience? So there is also this whole concept of hellfire, targeted attack, and nobody else, not even members either of the Haqqani family or members of the Zawahiri family being harmed. It's only Ayman al-Zawahiri who stepped out into the balcony and he was neutralized. Now, if Ayman al-Zawahiri had a threat to his life and he knew about it, why would he step out into the balcony knowing fully well that he could be targeted from the skies? The Afghans and the Taliban and Al-Qaeda know fully well about these drone strikes. So there are many, many questions, but however, we'll deliberate. But the larger question is, can the Taliban be trusted? Because what they claimed and what has happened, there is a dichotomy there. Is it a coincidence or is it absolute contradiction to what the claims were? This will remain a subject matter of discussion and debate through the course of the day. It's a big story here. Ambassador Sajjanar and Brigadier Datta, thank you very, very much. We're just going to play out a short excerpt of that conversation CNN News 18 had with Sirajuddin Haqqani. Would you like to clarify your position and where you as Interior Minister of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan stand? And this is for the Indian audience.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem.
Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim. First of all, I thank your country, your countrymen, your channel and the employees of your channel for the interview, and I welcome you here. I extend my gratitude and respect. I, at the beginning of this interview, wish to clear all doubts and suspicions that are prevailing in India and world at large. That Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan has come into existence with support of Pakistan. I wish to draw your attention that the last 20 years in Afghanistan was a period of annexation, aggression and ulterior motives of the imperial forces to occupy the land of Afghanistan. Whatever they wish to call it, it was for an occupation. Our holy jihad to free our country from the imperialistic power is our legitimate right. We strive to establish diplomatic relations with India, our neighboring countries in the region and the world at large. Our freedom, our sovereignty and self-respect is our legitimate right.
But Mr. Sirajuddin Haqqani, the Indian security establishment, the people at large have several concerns, largely about terror outfits like the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba in Afghanistan and the threat posed by them to Indian interests. Do you agree?
Afghanistan was at war with external forces since 40 years, and the last 20 years we have been fighting the world for our legitimate right. Our soil is not meant for foreigners, but it belongs to the people of Afghanistan, and we have assured to the neighboring regional countries and to the world that the soil of Afghanistan will be used against any of the countries of the world.
But Mr. Haqqani, our security establishment, our intelligence agencies have confirmed locations, specific locations with latitude, longitude, coordinates of Jaish and Lashkar camps operating out of Afghanistan soil. You are in charge of security in Afghanistan. You are the Interior Minister. So let me ask you this. If at any stage, if the Indian government gives you specific coordinates and locations of these camps, will you be able to act and operate together with the Indian agencies?
Their fears do not have any base. We wish to have cordial relations with India, and such fears seem to be misplaced and undesirable.
What guarantee of security would you provide to Indian diplomatic institutions, projects and businessmen in Afghanistan at this stage when they want to operate normally?
I have already mentioned previously that such fears are baseless, and we have established peace in the country and ensured that everyone in Afghanistan is safe and secure. We have ensured that the business establishments, national institutions and foreign investments are safe and secure. We have security forces in place to provide security to these establishments, including all the diplomatic institutions. There is no credible fear for the projects, investments. The Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan will prepare ground for their operations without any fear. We firmly assure you.